Shkreli essentially ran his companies like a Ponzi scheme, where he used each subsequent company to pay off defrauded investors from the prior company. So if we look to the board, to my right and to your left, Shkreli started out with a hedge fund in 2009 called MSMB Capital. And he took in approximately $3 million from 8 investors based upon lies that he told them about his prior performance as a portfolio manager, the amount of assets under the fund's management, and the oversight of the fund by independent auditors. But when he lost the $3 million that he'd gotten through a series of bad trades, he didn't tell his investors that he lost their money. Instead, Shkreli started a new hedge fund, which you'll see, called MSMB Healthcare, which he founded in 2011. And here again, he lied to the investors in the same way. He concealed from them the prior truth about his performance with MSMB Capital and the fact that he had lost $3 million based upon bad trades, the amount of money under the fund's management, and other things. Through those lies, the defendant, Shkreli, was able to get approximately $5 million additional dollars in investments from 13 investors for MSMB Healthcare. All while Shkreli continued to lie to MSMB Capital investors by telling them that their investments were performing well and that they were getting handsome returns on their investment. Now here's where the Ponzi scheme similarities begin. Shkreli used money from MSMB Healthcare to pay off debts that he incurred from the series of bad trades that he made at MSMB Capital. Now why did he do that? He did that to conceal the lies that he told to MSMB Capital investors, namely that their investments were doing well and they were getting handsome returns. Now, because the defendant, Shkreli, used that money from MSMB Healthcare to pay off those bad debts as part of the bad trades he made, he also used money from MSMB Healthcare to function as seed money for a company he founded called Retrophin, which you'll see to the right was founded in 2012. Now, so he lied to them, he lied to the investors in both of the funds about how the investments were doing, and in the instance of MSMB Healthcare, he lied to them about what he was actually doing with the money, all the while promising his investors that they were receiving exceptional returns. And then we get to Retrophin, the company that he took public. Shkreli invested some of the money from MSMB Healthcare's money into Retrophin, as I discussed before, as seed money, to get that company started. And as fate would have it, that company went public and did very well. But because Shkreli lied to MSMB Capital and MSMB Healthcare investors about the exceptional performance on their investments, he found himself at a crossroads. Either come clean and have to admit that he lied and he lost money and have all those lies discovered, or continue his lies and somehow pay the investors and somehow pay them the returns on their investments and the investments that they put in. And like Shkreli did in the past, he made the wrong choice. He lied. But this time, he did it on the back of Retrophin and used company counsel Evan Graybell to deceive Retrophin's auditors and board of directors. Now, why did he do that? So that the two defendants, Shkreli and Graybell, could use Retrophin as Shkreli's personal piggy bank to pay back the shareholders from both funds who had repeatedly at this point demanded their initial investments back and the returns on the investments that they were told that they had received.
company in the hot seat here in the United States. He faces scrutiny and a lot of criticism after increasing the price of one particular drug by 5,000%. And despite many questions in Congress, he refused to answer them. CCTV's Danielle Rinchez has more.
Some call him the most hated man in America. On Thursday, Martin Shkreli was summoned to appear before a powerful U.S. congressional committee to answer to his actions. As head of Turing Pharmaceuticals, he purchased the rights to the drug Daraprim, a treatment for parasitic infections, malaria and HIV, increasing the purchase price from $13.50 to $750 per pill. To the consternation of lawmakers, Shkreli invoked a U.S. constitutional clause to avoid self-incrimination.
What do you say to that single pregnant woman who might have AIDS, no income, and she needs Daraprim in order to survive? What do you say to her when she has to make that choice?
On the advice of counsel, I invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination and respectfully decline to answer your question.
Do you think you've done anything wrong?
On the advice of counsel, I invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination and respectfully decline to answer your question.
Shkreli resigned as CEO of Turing Pharmaceuticals in December after being arrested and charged with running his former companies like Ponzi schemes, but he denies the securities fraud allegations. Turing's current chief commercial officer, Nancy Reslav, says the company's taking steps to make the drug more affordable.
You can look away if you like, but I wish you could see the faces of people, no matter what Ms. Reslav says, who cannot get the drugs that they need.
The virtually silent Shkreli was then allowed to leave, but soon afterwards called members of the committee imbeciles on his Twitter account. The profit motive clearly helps to spur innovation in the development of new drugs, but critics say the balance has tipped too far and that in many cases greed has overridden the interests of patient care.
Okay.
You can take it up to 3 times a day.
Okay.
And you should
Those
take
who
it
can't
with-
afford insurance often access health services at free clinics, but the key concern of the doctors and nurses who treat them there is that their clients struggle to afford out-of-pocket costs.
Diseases like asthma and diabetes, some of the recommended medicines are very expensive, possibly hundreds of dollars a month, and we definitely have patients who go without medication or wait until their paycheck to purchase their medication.
Several presidential candidates have now indicated that they understand this harsh reality and would like to explore reforms to make branded drugs more affordable and to speed up the approval of low-cost generic drugs. Daniel Rinchez, CCTV, Washington.
What? No.